Hey guys, my name is Brandon Foster. I am an energy consultant at Kozco Energy Group. So today we are doing a Kozco Energy podcast, which I am joined here by Matt Nunn, also known as Nunny, and Aidan Riley, also known as Adzi. Now, Nunny, would you like to give us a little bit of a background spiel on what you're all about? What have you done for work? Let's go.
Yeah, just quick spiel. Been an electrician for 6+ years, primarily in the solar aircon game, and now, really specialising in all those things at Kozco Energy.
Yeah, beautiful. Aidan, you want to take it from top?
Yeah, a bit similar to Nunny. About 8 years in the industry, electrician by trade. Worked in solar, air conditioning, electrical automation, all that sort of stuff.
And here's just a little bit about myself. I also have been in the energy/electrical game for the last 8.5 to 9 years. But Adzi, would you like to touch on a little bit more about Kozco Energy Group and what we're all about?
Yes, absolutely. So Kozco Energy Group, we're a proud South Australian business. We've been providing energy efficient, solutions, both residential and commercial for around 15, 20 years now. Our main goal is to, be South Australia's leading automation, solar, aircon, electrical company. We want to provide innovative products, service, that sort of stuff that can help the lifestyle of our customers, really. Just a quick snapshot. I think since 2012, we've done over 200,000 solar panels, 10,000 kilowatt hours of battery storage, 15,000 air conditioner installs. I think we've saved about 1.5 million trees when you put that into CO2.
So we're pretty much our own rainforest, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah, there you go, guys. Huh? How good's that? Alrighty. So the whole point of this podcast series is to pretty much answer all those frequently asked questions that we find out in the field. And today's episode will be about batteries.
So the first question we've got to touch on today is a battery worth it? It's the question we get asked all the time, every single time we quote for a battery. Yep. And we all know the answer, but it'd be good to give some people some more insight as to why. So Foss, what do you got for me?
Yeah, I guess the easiest way to sort of put it is the way that the world's going in terms with usage costs and stuff like that. So if you have a battery that can provide, say, 13.3 kilowatt hours of storage, that's way better using a battery than using actual grid power, because if you're using grid power, you're going to be paying anywhere from 50 to 80 cents now per kilowatt hour, which is equivalent to how much? Like $8?
Yeah, it's pretty costly when you put it like that. I guess we could maybe go back to how does a battery work?
Yep.
And for people that might not understand. So the main role of a battery in a solar system is to obviously store excess power that isn't being used by the house. When we get a grid outage or nighttime, the sun goes down, your solar obviously is not going to produce, so your battery's then going to run the house. So, it's a really, really good tool to save yourself paying, I think the new rate's coming out 1st of July, which is today, up to sort of 60 cents a kilowatt hour, from 3 o'clock onwards. So, if you don't have a battery, you're paying 60 cents. Yep. If you've got a battery, it's free.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. And touching on those savings, so obviously savings is the biggest part of a battery. You're storing that energy for your own usage. What about the battery rebate that's coming out at the moment? Obviously, Peter Malinauskas has cancelled it, but it's not cancelled as such. There's a few left. How's that sort of working, Foss?
Yeah, so realistically, it started off with about 3,000 homes that were left eligible, or it was complete out we go on September the 1st. So I think, we're about 2 weeks in and there's only 1,700 homes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it just dropped down to 1,600 subsidies left today. People that don't know, I guess, again, the battery rebate. So the South Australian government brought in an incentive to subsidise the cost of a battery up front. That was a Liberal incentive. Labor have obviously been elected and they've scrapped that incentive. So there is a bit of a timeline on at the moment with subsidies remaining. So, save yourself $2,000 and go and get one now is the advice we're saying. Even without the subsidy into the future, battery storage is just the way to go.
And I was gonna touch on that as well. Obviously, it's running out. We all know that, and now the listeners will as well. So if you didn't know, it is. But like you said, I think it's super important to know that once it is gone, it's still so beneficial too, because $2,000 is obviously great being in your pocket, but still having that storage in your back pocket for nighttime usage when the rising of costs is just going up.
Yeah, I think the other thing is the rolling blackout. We're hearing in the media at the moment a bit of uncertainty with the grid. SAP and infrastructure, all this sort of thing. Generators being turned off because of spot pricing in the network. get a battery. Don't worry about it.
Especially get a battery with the rebate, because having that extra $2,000 is like what, one extra year of it pays itself off quicker.
That's it.
I think we popped into the calculator just before talking about pure return on investment with a battery, with the given the market update with rates. I think we worked out it was about 2.5, 3.5 years, depending on your usage.
Yeah, it's always dependent on customer.
Yeah, absolutely.
System costs.
But money back in your pocket, 3.5 years.
That's
You don't get that at the bank at the moment. You don't even get that at the bank. So
That's it.
Well,
the next thing on batteries is the product, and us three, like I said before, would know exactly what the good ones are and the bad ones are. But you always get the customers who have done a bit of Googling to find out some things that they want answers for, and we try and give them those answers, but sometimes it's harder than others. So what are your ideas? Obviously the Tesla, the Alpha, there's a couple of competitors out there. What are your thoughts on which one's the best and why they're the best?
I think the main thing I talk to people about when we're looking at a battery and what they want to really know is, one, you want to know how much storage capacity the battery is it 13 kilowatt, is it 5 kilowatt, is it 10 kilowatt? How long is it going to last? So we've got to work out size of the battery. The other thing we want to look at is the warranty. How long is this thing going to last?
Yep.
You don't want to blow it up 2 years in and then your stuff. So we look at that. We also look at the cycle rate on the spec sheet. So that's, how long is this thing going to go up and down, charge, discharge, charge, discharge? So there's three really important things to look at.
Guess cost comes into
Cost
it
as well. There is
the big one.
a pendulum there. Absolutely. So
I think just to touch on that as well, a lot of people are getting caught up in the old sort of ways with batteries, saying they're not worth it and the return is up to 8 to 9 years. But the thing is, those people are going off of old facts. There is a much more affordable sort of battery solution out there, which you can get for way less than your generic 8 to 9 year return.
That's probably my next question is, you always get the question, and all three of us get it all the time, is, I'll just wait. I'll wait for the prices to come down, or I'll wait for this to happen. Really with the renewable energy game, waiting is the last thing you should be doing, because as we've all seen of recent events, gas prices through the roof, energy prices through the roof.
And it's almost overnight as well.
Everything is leading towards putting in something to do with generating your own electricity.
I mean, just having done this a little while now, and the battery sort of question has come up for the last 3 or 4 years, where the throwaway comment, they'll be cheaper soon. Give it a year, 12 months, will be way cheaper. And you go, well, maybe. I don't have a crystal ball, I can't tell you. But what I can tell you, in the last 4 years, they've gone up.
That's it.
A Tesla Powerwall, we were doing supply and install probably 3 years ago for about $6,000.
Yeah.
We're now doing them for $14,500.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the prices aren't going down, unfortunately. It's just, I think another sort of question that revolves around this sort of market is, should I buy in now? And it's just like, well, yes, as soon as you outlay this investment, it is essentially paying itself off straight away. And the more you wait, that's the more return you're missing out on. And
absolutely.
The one golden thing that every single person says, I wish I'd done it sooner.
Absolutely. Or I wish I put more solar on.
Yeah, always comes down to that.
I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some horror stories, and I've heard many.
Like anything.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you do it well and you get it installed by a reputable company, good trades, you buy the right stuff, and you get good advice, 9 times out of 10 you'll have no issue. So that's the most important thing: is do your research, speak to the right people, and make an informed decision, rather than someone told you that their friend did this and that, and that's what you're going to buy now, and it might not suit you. You might have a higher usage. You might use more power at night versus day. There's so many scenarios that you need to actually sit down with.
Every house is different.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to sit down with someone and go, hey, this is how we use our power. What can you do for us? How can you solve this problem? And that's what we love to do. And we love to sit down with people and say, this is what you need. If you don't want to do that, that's fine, but this is what we would recommend.
Absolutely. I think that gets us back to this whole point of doing this podcast, is that we are passionate about what we're doing, what we're presenting, and what we're installing. So we would love to sit down with customers and think, all right, this is the best thing for you.
Educate.
We won't force you into a decision if it's not right, which is what we love about the battery game, because it isn't for everyone. Like you said, Aiden, it's correct. So,
So when you say it's not for everyone, when would you expect it to be for someone?
Well, like Adam touched on before, I think every situation where a family of 3 or 4, whatever, they're all out working. 99% of families are working and their kids are at school. So they come home at night, their solar's been pumping all day, and feed-in tariffs are bugger all these days. We know that. So you're not going to get much to go back in the grid. So having that storage capacity there for yourself at night is the best case scenario, because you come home, the kids are playing PS4, you're watching MasterChef, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
That's all on the grid. You're still paying for that. Whereas you've got the battery, it's just an absolute no-brainer. It's all your own generated electricity. And especially in Australia's climate, you know, how hot it gets during the summer, autumn, spring months. Obviously winter, we just cop it on the chin, but those other months you're so far in the green that you can always look into the future for that.
So the only, I mean, and just touching on what Nunny spoke about there, the usage, like a lot of nighttime usage, so battery makes sense. The other side of it is, if there is a lot of daytime usage, do we put a battery in? So, you know, someone that's home from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m, sun's up, and they do all of their load, you know, in terms of dishwashers, washing machines, cooling, heating, all those things are happening during the day. Sometimes a battery doesn't make sense because the return on investment's not there. And that's an important thing to sort of know as a customer, as a consumer. Depending on when you use your power, depends on if you do need a battery. And if you're not using 13 kilowatts at night, you know, your power bill's $60 a quarter. Don't worry about it.
You're doing something right.
Don't buy a battery because
Exactly.
you know that we're not saying everyone has to buy a battery. No way.
Yeah. So I guess just to give you guys some figures, like, so just imagine this, right? Say if you are working between business hours. So if your rate is at 60 cents per kilowatt and the current feed-in tariff rate 5 cents?
5, maybe 10 if you're lucky.
So let's put the scenario down. If you have a solar system that's just pumping away, it takes... What's that? That's 12 kilowatts of solar production to make up 1 kilowatt of your usage.
Yes.
So does it sound profitable?
Yeah. So that is a great point in terms of export. So you got to export 12 kilowatts of power to pay for 1 at night. You know, put a battery in and you're home. So
the nighttime offset isn't like what it used to be, say, a year ago. So now is the perfect time to get a battery. Look, that wraps up episode 1. Thank you everyone for joining us. We're going to be hitting this a lot more frequently, ask those frequently asked questions. But from Kozco Energy Group, thank you for listening, and we'll just see you next time. Join in next time. See you next time. I'll go with that. Maybe again.
You need some work. You need some serious work next episode.
It's episode 1.